All right. So typically we're taught a way for business building and network marketing that really, when you look at it and you look at it deeply, it's kind of stupid. That was me a number of years ago. And I'm bringing this video back for you because what I was talking about was how thinking for a change is helping struggling network marketers get more leads and recruits and customers in 30 days or less. Make sure to stay to the end of this video because what I'm going to do is show you a specific social media marketing technique that we taught someone like Renee here that we're working with, where he had 9 total people up here, which broke down to 5 new recruits, 4 new customers, 15 additional people in terms of 10 highly potential customers, recruits that he was telling us about, and 5 new curious ones who just haven't responded yet to the engagement that we teach him how to do on his social media. Down here, by the way, 2 of those new recruits have already signed a new recruit each. His team is building. And look what he said over here. This is much more fruitful than the entire last 3 months where he was going to expos, he had paid to be a vendor, he was doing online networking to get just 2 recruits and 3 customers. Not a bad week of simple tasks. This was all done in 1 week. So stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you what we taught him that's allowing him to get these kind of results, and you can get the same thing as well. But before we get into all that, let me bring back my younger self to give you some really key ideas about how you need to think alongside the marketing techniques. What this video is not going to do is be one of those videos that you hear about quite a bit out there. Hey, if you're tired of getting a friends and family list together, putting together a Dream 100 list for your contacts, jumping on social media and spending endless hours on social media, chatting with people and basically being a slave to your computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you this amazing magical system that I got by going up on a mountain and hanging out with some monks for a while. And I got this divine intervention. And now I'm going to show you my magic system, right? We're not going to talk about anything like that. Okay. I'm not going to tell you about some magic system that's going to help you make $500 to $2,000 a day with you sitting around doing nothing and watching Netflix. Okay. That's not what we're going to talk about. I'm actually going to go through some education for you in terms of what's worked for me, what's worked for a lot of other people out there when they just put these practices into play. And we're going to talk a lot about your thinking process. I've been reading this book lately, actually rereading it from John Maxwell called Thinking for a Change. If you haven't read this book, I'd really, recommend that you go ahead and read it. But I wanted to read you something from this because one of the things that I want to talk to you about is the difference in terms of thinking about business when you compare, ultra successful entrepreneurs and business people out there and the way they look at their businesses long-term compared to the way a lot of network marketers think. And it's not even your fault if you're thinking this way. It's just kind of perpetuated by the industry. And we'll get into that more in a second, but I want to bring you this because obviously the book is talking about thinking, right? How to change your thinking. And one of the things he says in here is, what one thing do all successful people have in common? What one thing separates those who go to the top from those who never seem to get there? The answer, good thinking. Those who embrace good thinking as a lifestyle understand the relationship between their level of thinking and their level of progress. They also realize that to change their lives, they must change their thinking. And he goes on in this passage to then talk about the fact that your life today is a result of your thinking yesterday. Your life tomorrow will be determined by what you think today. And a little bit later here in the passage, he says, if you met my dad, he would tell you that he was born with a naturally negative bent to his thinking. In addition, he grew up during the Depression. And when he was 6 years old, his mother died. He was not a happy or hopeful child. But as a teenager, he began to see that all the successful people he knew had one thing in common. They filled their lives with positive thoughts about themselves and others. And then to end this, he goes on to say that changing from negative to positive thinking isn't always easy, especially if you have a difficult time with change. For some, it's a lifelong struggle. Do you know what most people's number one challenge is when it comes to making positive personal changes? It's their feelings. They want to change, but they don't know how to get past their emotions. But there is a way to do it. Take a look at the truth contained in the following syllogism. Major premise, I can control my thoughts. Minor premise, my feelings come from my thoughts. So the conclusion is, I can control my feelings by controlling my thoughts. If you are willing to change your thinking, you can change your feelings. If you change your feelings, you can change your actions. And changing your actions based on good thinking can change your life. And so I wanted to bring you that because it has a lot to running your business and becoming successful. And a lot of the strategy or teaching out there about how to build a network marketing business is centered around either offline, building a friends and family list, that Dream 100 list, and going out there and trying to get those folks interested in your products, in your opportunity, or go online. And a lot of things that are taught are these kind of like social media hacks, I call them, right? Like one thing is, go on to Facebook or go on to LinkedIn, try to get some chatting going with folks. And all you end up doing is replacing the offline strategy that's very time intensive, trying to get people that really aren't interested in you and your business. And it's frustrating, right? Because a lot of those people run from you and don't want to talk to you again, or you try to call them back and they don't answer the phone. And you replace that online with this very time intensive chatting up with people, and nothing really happens because you're just now trading your time for money there. And you were probably told when you got into network marketing that it would be something that would be, it would free you time wise, right? Give you time freedom. And yet all you're doing all night or all day is chatting with people.
So on that note, let's go back to Renee and the results that I shared of his at the very top of this video, right? Where just the top here, imagine in a week, you bringing in 5 new recruits, 4 new customers. How would that change your business? What I want to share with you next is, before I show you the solution, is where I see people falling down on their social media marketing. Here's an example of someone in the Melaleuca company. And if you're in Melaleuca, this will be great because this will teach you what not to do. But no matter what company you're in, just apply the concept here to what I'm showing you is a mistake that this particular person is making. Okay, what they're doing is they're showing their company name here all over the place, okay? They're blasting the Melaleuca name randomly. They're yelling about discount. Nobody cares about that. When you're on social media and you see something like this, do you get excited about engaging with this person? Or are you kind of turned off because all they're talking about is what they want? They want to make a sale. They're trying to give you a discount to do that. They're showing product images. Now, if this is you in your business showing all of this to your social media followers, you're making a mistake because let's say I see your post like this. Well, if I have any interest at all, and I probably won't because of the nature of how this is so just spammy. But even if I had an interest in what these products might do, I'm going to go to YouTube or Google and I'm going to do a search on, hey, what is Melaleuca? Let me check this out. And most likely that'll mean I'll either make a purchase from the company website, so you miss out on the sale, or even if I search on Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to probably find another representative from Melaleuca doing it correctly, which I'm going to show you next. And I'm going to buy from them. So you've made a sale for somebody else by doing this. You don't want to be doing this. There's another example from the company Herbalife. There's a distributor that is, look right here. I need people to work with. Nobody cares. If you're saying stuff like, hey, I need 5 people this month to come into my business, or all these things that people are told to say on social media, or you're going into DMs and trying to do that, like drum up business and say, I need to recruit people. Are you interested? Like, people don't care about that. They want to know what's in it for them. And this is all selfish type of marketing. They're losing sales to other Herbalife reps with strong online presences. And they're just showing the products. And again, just like the Melaleuca example, people can go Google your product name, your company name, and buy from somebody else. So you don't want to be doing this. If you're doing anything like this, you might be frustrated and you're probably wondering, well, what's the answer? Let me share with you the answer. I've put a link to our digital recruiting bootcamp in the pinned comment and description. It's a 5-day free training on how to master the 3 phases of the attraction marketing funnel that I'm giving you a broad idea about in this video. You'll learn how to use the attract, influence, and enroll phases of attraction marketing to start attracting more best fit customers and team members. Click the link in the description in the pinned comment to get 100% of the details for marketing in a fun, attractive manner. I'm going to teach you something here that you can use. And I created some hooks for different types of problems that you might be solving in your network marketing business. So you're going to see a big difference here. I want you to think about this difference as I show this to you. This is all about just blasting social media with company name and products. So let me just get a little bigger here. Okay. There's a big difference between going on social media and just blasting your company name and products out there. So if you're doing anything like that, that's completely different than being a problem solver and thinking about what is the problem that my product or service that I'm selling in my company actually solve for people. If you get really keyed into that, now you're going to be showing people what's in it for them. Let me show you some specific examples here that you can actually model and start to use for yourself. Let's say, and let me preface this by saying, if I don't use an example of a problem solved that your company does, don't walk away from this video saying, oh, this can't help me. This will work with any company in existence. It'll work if you're selling products or you're selling services. And I have some service examples I'm going to share with you as well, just in case you're in a company like, say, Legal Shield, where you're selling services. I'm going to show that to you. Take the concept I'm teaching you and apply it to your problem. And I think you're going to get excited here. I've created 3 hooks for each problem solved. And I'm just going to read them to you and let them fall into your ears. And imagine you posting like this on social media and the different response you'll get than you're probably getting now by posting product pics and things like that. There are products out there in the network marketing community that solve the diabetes issue. You might say, in the past 3 months, I've gone from constantly battling blood sugar spikes to feeling in control and full of energy without relying on extreme diets. Now that's going to pique somebody's interest if you post something like that, a hook like that on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Most people with diabetes think that avoiding all carbs is the only way to stabilize blood sugar. It turns out there's a much easier way. Well, if somebody with diabetes sees your post talking about that, what are they going to do? They're going to sit up in their chair and say, oh, really? What is that easier way? Now you're starting to get to the point where you're going to have a new follower and then a new customer and a new team member, okay? Tired of laying awake at night worrying about your blood sugar levels? Here's what finally worked for me. Well, if I've got blood sugar problems and you tell me you've got something that finally worked for you, what am I going to do? I'm going to want to follow you and get the information. How about if you're selling a product that does something for weight loss? You could say, and then you fill in your details here, of course, but these are just ideas. Last year, I lost 25 pounds without starving myself or spending hours in the gym. Oh, really? Well, I'm struggling to do that. Tell me more. See the difference between this and this? It's like night and day, okay, in terms of the results you're going to get. That's why Renee is getting results. We taught him how to do this. The biggest mistake I ever made in weight loss was a doozy, and it kept me stuck for years. What you probably don't know about weight loss, it's not just about diet and exercise. Here's what actually made the difference. Oh, really? What's the difference? People are going to want to follow you. You get in the picture here? Joint pain. If your product solves joint pain, you could say, hey, with this one change, I haven't had to take painkillers for my joints in over 6 months. Or the cold hard truth about joint pain. Most treatments only mask the problem instead of fixing it. I've completely eliminated the need to rely on daily pain meds and still move better than I have in years. You say stuff like this, people are going to respond. You're going to get engagement. Things are going to start to happen. If you're selling a product that helps with brain fog, you might say on your social media platform, it turns out loading up on caffeine didn't work for me, but here's what I did to clear my brain fog. 3 surprising ways your daily routine might be making your brain fog worse. Oh, well, I got brain fog. I'm doing something that's making it worse. Tell me what that is. See, you're engaging people. You're getting curiosity. Want to know the secret to staying sharp and focused all day without another cup of coffee? Tell me more. Okay. Now, what if you're selling life insurance, for example? You might say, hey, attention parents. Have you been putting off getting life insurance for your family for over a year? Here's why you shouldn't wait any longer. And then you can give those reasons. The biggest mistake most people make with life insurance, waiting until it's too late. And then you can tell a story of somebody who waited too late and left their family in the lurch financially. What nobody is telling you about life insurance, but you need to know. What if you're doing legal services? I mentioned Legal Shield earlier. Over the past year, I haven't had to stress about legal paperwork or contracts, yet I still know I'm fully protected. Okay, tell me more. That's an interesting statement. One simple legal mistake that's probably costing you money and how to fix it. The real reason why most small business owners end up in legal trouble and how to avoid it. Now, can you see how that's different from the normal social media posting that people are doing that's just turning people off? I've put a link to our digital recruiting bootcamp in the pinned comment and description. It's a 5-day free training on how to master the 3 phases of the attraction marketing funnel that I'm giving you a broad idea about in this video. You'll learn how to use the attract, influence, and enroll phases of attraction marketing to start attracting more best fit customers and team members. Click the link in the description in the pinned comment to get 100% of the details for marketing in a fun, attractive manner. I want to end this with a couple of ideas you can also take out of this, where you can take one of these hooks that I gave you and then tell a simple story and have a call to action at the end to start getting people to make contact with you that become your leads and then your customers and then the people on your team, the way Renee has done. I just do one example on this to keep this from getting too long. With this one change, I haven't had to take painkillers for my joints in over 6 months. When I first started trying to get relief, I did what most people do. I followed the typical advice. I took painkillers daily. I tried every joint support supplement I could find. I even considered more invasive options, thinking it was my only way forward. But after months of this, My pain kept coming back. I was wasting money. Worst of all, I started avoiding activities I love because I knew I'd pay for it later. That hit me hard. See how this is a story where somebody was having an issue, a problem with a joint pain, and if you have joint pain, you're going to read this and relate. Then they say, or if this is you saying it to your audience, then one day I came across something different. It promised to help reduce joint pain naturally without relying on meds or drastic treatments. Fast forward 6 months, my joints feel stronger. I wake up without stiffness and I'm back to doing the things I love. And the best part, no more painkillers. If you're tired of dealing with joint pain and want to know what helped me, drop relief in the comments and I'll send you the details. You see how your audience doesn't know what the product is yet? They don't know who the company is yet. They just know that you solve the problem they want to solve. They are going to engage with you. This is how this works. Now, what I'm sharing with you here is the first of 3 phases in what we call the attraction marketing funnel. The first phase is attract. That's what you're doing with these kinds of hooks and stories. Then you start to have influence with folks where they start to follow you, you start to warm them up, you start to have conversations with them, and then you move them into the enroll stage, the last stage where, if I go back up to the top here again, where Rene was enrolling them in as new recruits and new customers. This is how this works. I hope you're seeing this. I hope you're getting excited about it. Now, if you would like to learn all the details of how to build out an attraction marketing funnel for yourself like this on your social media platforms and use stories like this and build out hooks like this, then I really encourage you to drop down to the pinned comment and description where I've given you a link to our digital recruiting bootcamp. What it does is it takes you through 5 days of training to teach you how this all works. Make sure you really understand how to use your social media platform to get this kind of interest, to get people to get excited to reach out to you. You're attracting them to you. You're not chasing people. You're not repelling people. You're not causing them to block you on social media. They're actually reaching out to you, asking for more information. Isn't that a more fun way to build your business? Isn't that what you're looking for? Go down there, grab our digital recruiting bootcamp and get all the training. I'll really be happy to see you back there in our community. Before I go, I recorded another video where I talk about how I built my international downline 9 levels deep without bugging my friends and family, talking to my Aunt Martha. And in that, I teach you a concept that you need to know about the attraction marketing funnel, that without knowing that, it makes it very difficult for the hooks and the story that I shared with you on this video to work as effective as they need to be. So I'm going to put that video right here. Go watch that next. See me over there and learn that next concept.